Nick from Bayside Comfort Solutions. Thanks for jumping on, mate, and having a bit of chat about your business and your reporting journey. Why don't you just start by giving us a bit of a spiel about who BCS is and what you guys do and what makes you stand out and how long you've been going and all those things.
Yeah, well, we're a domestic heating and cooling company based in the Mornington Peninsula. We've been operating now for 15 years. We mostly concentrate on domestic work, builders, service and repair. I've got 20 employees. Yeah.
Yeah. And what software are you using?
We use Simpro. Been using it now for 8 years.
Yep. Yep. Why'd you get into business in the first place?
Why did I get into business?
Yeah. What was your motivation to go out on your own?
Well, the reason I got in business from the start was actually my old boss was trying to get out of it. He offered me an opportunity. So I was sort of, in a way, presented an opportunity to jump into running business. I think I was always going to go down that path, but he sort of quickened the process for me. I think I just always wanted to be my own boss, a bit of a control freak, like most people. And I suppose I just wanted to go, do things my own way and obviously start to make better money.
Yeah, got it. And then how have you found the journey? What's been the biggest challenges? I mean, obviously 15 years and 20 blokes and, there's a lot that goes under the bridge in that time, but what's the, top 3 challenges that you reckon you found in business?
Look, I reckon number one now with a company this size is probably employees. You find that when you've got so many conflicting personalities that you basically become a full-time psychiatrist in a way. And then there's always something going on, everyone's got their own problems and obviously you're at the top of the tree. So you got to sort of be able to, sway one way to help someone here, help someone there, or, and then obviously you get, problems inside the business that are created by employees. So it's all about just trying to be a good manager. I think now a business of this size, that's probably your first problem. Back in the day was probably being too busy in how to grow the business and how many employees you should put on and when you take the next step to put that next employee on. And that's always, you're playing on your mind on how to grow a business and the way to do it. The way that I sort of got that process or started the foundation of that process was using business coaches. That's always worked well for me. And then from there, they've sort of helped me sort of structure the business to grow and run numbers to show us that it can be done. The third thing would probably be just a fear of being paid for jobs. But to be honest, we've had a really good run with basically we do, as I said, all forms of work and touch wood. We've always had a pretty good run with debtors and that sort of thing. So look, definitely employees, growth, dealing with some clients definitely can be painful. 90% of the population are good. You do get that 10% of people you've just got to bite your tongue and, smile and just try and make them happy. And yeah.
And so what's your work split? So you do domestic maintenance call outs, you do work for builders, so new builds, construction type work. What's the split that you've got between those?
Look, I would honestly say that their service repair division is about 20%, and then the remaining 80 would be 40% domestic, 40% would be builders.
Yep. Okay. No worries. Okay, so tell me, before you started working with API, how were you reporting before that?
The way that we would report before API would actually get automatic reports, which were pulled out of the Simpro. And then from there, we would actually use data entry. Either I or one of the girls in the office would be actually using data entry to put it into an Excel spreadsheet. We would literally have to do data entry on every single report that we're trying to run. So basically, our first half of Monday was me and Layla in the office, literally sitting there and doing data entry to make reports, and then we would send them out to the necessary employees or salesmen or people running their division. So yeah, it was all just basically data entry pulled out of Simpro.
Manual into spreadsheets type thing, and then copied into emails and
Yep.
Exactly. Okay. And what sort of information, like what's your critical information that you use to run the business?
Look, the amount of reports we pull out of the business now is unbelievable. Like we've got our basic stuff, which is, your non-productive work, sick days, travel time, factory work. Then you've got your callbacks, the amount of callbacks, who's responsible for callbacks, how much it's costing the business. Then you've got your gross profit. Then it gets more into like your lead tracker, which I find is crucial to run a business. Your cost per lead, cost per sale, what leads are working, what are good leads, what are bad leads, how it's all, where all the leads are coming from. Obviously, we test and measure every single phone call, every lead that we get. We put that in Simpro, then API pulls that information out. That then gives you your cost per lead and cost per sale, so you can see where you're wasting money or where you can invest more money. We have then more technical reports, which is like our sales bonus, there's service and repair division bonuses. We've got our project managers, site supervisor bonuses, which is ran off the efficiency or how well the job is ran, which is comparing the estimated hours to your actual hours inside the job. API pulls that out and gives us a percentage. We've then got our domestic installers. Same thing again, how efficient the jobs are running, how many callbacks they did because they did it too quick. They created a callback, possibly. We can say, guys, you might have got the job done fast, but it's created a callback. This is all information that's pulled out, and it's all information that we can get, straight off the computer instantly.
How often are you looking at this? Is it a daily, weekly, monthly kind of thing? Does it depend on the report?
Oh, I honestly would be surprised. I reckon I look at it 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Just because me personally, I love numbers. I love reporting. I love the information business creating. I love to see how everyone running their division is off, how they're going. Then the people running the divisions, they themselves are using it probably once or twice a day as well. I know every time I walk into one of the employees that runs the service and repair division, they have it literally sitting on their computer all day. They can just see how many leads they've got, how many chargeable jobs they've done for the day, how the sales is going, how each technician's going, who's fallen behind. So we all look at it daily, without a doubt.
Yeah, okay. And can you tell us a bit then, since you've moved from the sort of old reporting into the new automated dashboard, sophisticated version? What differences? What's the benefits been? How have you been able to leverage that?
First thing would be no more data entry. That alone is saving us on labour. We're no longer spending half a Monday doing data entry, sending emails to, we don't have to run it all through Excel spreadsheets. It's literally a live scoreboard. So we can jump on it 24/7. Whoever is necessary that runs that division, or even the install boys or builders guys or salesmen, they all have access to this. They can just jump on, see how the reporting. It's not a Monday thing now where we just send out the reports on Monday. They're literally looking at it every day. So I think that alone has created more motivation. It's created a bit more probably joy in the whole bonus structure that we've set up, because they can see how it's all going. And I think they just liking the fact that they can get on any time and see how well they're performing, which has probably made them more efficient as well. It's probably made them a bit more eager to, try and hit their targets.
Yeah, is that because it just brings that clarity? They know where they stand against their targets. They don't find out at the end of the quarter whether they hit it or they missed it, or at the end of the week if they bother to look at their emails, but they can check whenever it occurs to them.
Well, especially when it gets to the end of the quarter, where how most of our bonuses are ran, is they're structured on quarterly bonuses. No longer now, they might get to last week and I send an email on Monday where they might be close to hitting their target, but not quite there. And they're going to wait for the week to see if they reach it. They can get on the next day and go, oh, geez, I haven't quite hit that target yet. Maybe tomorrow I'll put in a bit extra, or, I might follow up my quotes tomorrow to create a few more sales, or I might get a few more jobs done, or I might, whatever the bonuses are structured, it just gives them a bit more incentive to go, oh, I can jump on now, see how I'm tracking. Okay, I've got to do that little bit extra to hit my bonuses rather than wait for the week to end.
Yeah. And I mean, API has been very much built on this idea that if you can measure something, you can manage it, and you can manage it to improve it, essentially. And you've obviously got that mindset. Did you start business with that mindset, or did you pick it up during your coaching journey, or where did you start to develop that sort of way of looking at business?
Oh, definitely the business coach. Yeah, the way that they made me look at business was you have to know how your business is performing. And the way that is basically determined is through reports. I don't even know how you can run business without reporting, because you need to know where you're wasting money. Are you wasting money on certain leads? Are you wasting money on certain type of work? Are you wasting money on certain employees that aren't pulling their weight? There is you've got to know the ins and outs of your business. Otherwise, it's the quickest way to go backwards, I believe. Now I can see how the business is performing all day, every day. It's just as basic. I can see the gross profit live every day and see what's going on with the business. And we might have a bad month, and now I know straight away rather than wait for my accountant or wait for the bookkeeper to tell me what's going on. It's all just there at the tip of your fingers. So yeah, it's definitely business coaches and then once they sort of show you what reports you can pull out of a business, then it makes you eager to starting to dive right into the business and go, oh, what else can we get out of these reports? Where are we losing money? Where are we making money? And yeah, you basically you have to run reports to run a business for sure.
So what do you? So we come across a lot of people, or I certainly have. I'm sure you have. That go, no, I know my business pretty well, and so I know it well enough to make decisions on the fly. Does that work at a smaller size? Does it never work? Does it work at your size? Is that a realistic perception that people have got, or is there always value in being able to dig into this?
Wouldn't matter if you're a one-man band, you're going to know your reporting. Yeah, how would you know? How would you know what are good leads, what are bad leads? How well are you converting? How well are you converting in certain towns? That's one report we've got. We've got reports on how well you report like conversion on certain products, types of jobs. You might be wasting all your money on a certain type of lead or lead source like Google, and all of a sudden you realise, oh, I'm paying $200 at cost per lead here. It's just maybe not worth it. You might be spending all your money on word of mouth, or you just need to know whether you're one person, 20, 30 people size business. You have to know the ins and outs of your business. It's the only way you can grow a business and make sure you stay in business is to report on.
Yeah. Okay. And then lastly, mate, obviously you're up and going with API and you've got the dashboards and reports and they're working for you. How did you find the process of dealing with the team, the back end team, building those, going through scoping and all of that?
Well, I basically still deal with the team daily. We're always fine-tuning bits and pieces. So shout out to Phil. He's been awesome. The whole process, don't get me wrong, you've got to put the time in. But just like anything, you get out of it what you put in. We have to put a bit of time into it, and I'd do it 10 times over. The result that we got out of it, I'd be happily do the process all over again. But you've really got to put your time into it. Otherwise, what's the point of doing it? And to do it properly, to make sure all the figures are correct, you do. It's pretty labour intensive, but it's absolutely worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when you talk about the timer, you're talking about checking to make sure that the information that you've entered into SimPro is coming through correctly into the reports, that you haven't chosen a different cost center or entered into a different field that's not being picked up, and just making sure that when you look at the reports, you're getting the information that you need to be able to make decisions off.
Say that one again, sorry, mate.
When you're looking at the reports, then you're getting the information that you need to make decisions off. So when you are when you're talking about this investment of time that you have to go through, I sort of figure it's two things: making sure that the right information is coming through from SimPro into the reports, and then the reports are presented in a way that you can interpret and get the information you need out of them.
Well, our reporting, especially our bonus reports, they're not easy. They weren't easy to create off the bat. So then to try and make API, then put that onto their software, it's not an easy thing to do. So they don't know. You've got to tell them how it's done. You've got to understand how you came to that solution in the first place. And then they've got to try and pull that information out of SimPro. So, of course, it's going to be a bit of labour involved to try and make sure that everything's perfect. And then once you do have it up and going, then you've got to sort of run it side by side to your reports and make sure everything marries up. And then once you're up and going after probably a month, I was like, everything's running beautifully. There's a fine tuning here or there, but API, honestly, I send an email within an hour or so. Phil's always responded. We fine tune it. He makes a change. Most of the time within the hour, either that day or the next day, the changes have been made and you're up and going.
Awesome. Perfect. All right, mate, that's all I've got. Anything else that you wanted to add or I didn't think to ask?
Nah, covered everything.